Hello and welcome back. I'm Nora, and today I'll tell you about a dream I had in 2017, which was heavily influenced by Harry Potter. I was a witch in the dream, and I was dressed a lot like the witches and wizards in Harry Potter, with the long robes and the pointed hats. My own robes were a dark blue navy color, and I had just walked into the entrance of a large, round amphitheater. It was one that was sunken into the ground, so you kind of entered at street level and took the stairs down to the stage, which was in the center. Everything was made of carved stone, and it reminded me of where one of the battles took place in a Fantastic Beasts movie. So I was standing at the entrance, and I could see that there were dozens of other witches and wizards there, including ones from other countries. Not sure how I knew that, but I just kind of knew. However, I also noticed that the battle was going terribly on our part. I could sense that my allies were dying off faster than whatever evil we were battling, and the prospects looked dim. It was also dampened by additional curses, almost, that we had on us, which was the typical witch curse that we couldn't get wet, and of course it happened to be raining during this battle. So many of us were wearing waterproof robes and hats and everything, but we couldn't completely stop from getting wet during the battle. Additionally, and although it was nearing sunset, the witches and wizards couldn't walk in the sunshine. It would also kill them. I felt like it was typically more of a vampire curse than a witch curse, but for some reason we had that one too. However, for some reason, I was also the exception to both of these rules, and common rumor was that it was just because I was the most powerful witch to be born since the beginning of magic itself. Or at least that's the rumors that were going around. As I looked around and saw the dim prognosis, I knew that there was only one thing that could save us, and that happened to be, of course, one of the most powerful magics of all time, but it would leave me vulnerable. So, standing near me was another wizard who was the leader of one of the foreign groups of witches and wizards. He was also the most powerful of his group, which is why he was the leader. He was tall and was wearing robes that looked black in the dim light, but when it was hit by sunlight or the light from the magic, it would shimmer a beautiful dark green color. When I looked at him, it's like he knew what I needed to do and nodded in response to my unspoken question. Immediately, he covered me as I began to weave the magic that would create a time-turning device. In order to create this device, I had to channel my magic into a single spot in front of me while envisioning the entire battle playing backwards in my mind. If I lost focus for even a second, it would not work. Somehow I was able to keep my focus and the constant stream of magic flowing to that spot until the device materialized before me. Typically, it was impossible for anything to be made from nothing, even in magic. It usually just relocated items that already existed or imbued special abilities into items that a spell was placed on. However, this device was different. As I focused my magic on that spot, it shifted and turned until it eventually took on a solid shape of its own. In essence, this device was pure magic without any other materials in it. When it was finished, it dropped softly into my hand, and then I walked around the battlefield and was able to turn back certain parts of the battle at my will, rather than the whole thing, which a typical time turner would have done. I could aim this device at fallen witches and wizards and watch as they came back to life and returned to battle, and I could also use it to return magic that was thrown out by this evil entity. After a while, all of our comrades were alive again, and the evil, sensing that the tide of the battle had turned, disapparated in retreat. I then went around with the other uninjured wizards to look after any injured and to return the amphitheater to its original state. I woke up before it was completely restored. One of the things I loved about this dream was that it made me feel like I had the power to change the world, even though in my daily life I typically feel like I lack that. However, I also know that changing the world isn't about being powerful. It's about the choices we make that influence those around us to do better. In this dream, I knew that just being there to help some of these witches and wizards was what caused them to have the hope and the faith that we would win, so they naturally did better. I hope that I can be a person like I was in my dream who just being around others naturally makes them want to do better. So thank you for listening. I hope you have an amazing holiday, and I'll share another dream again soon.